Whenever you're doing a kitchen renovation or design, you want to think about the clearances and where things are placed. You want to think ahead about how you're going to use the space and how much clearance you need around the countertops, the cabinets, and between the counters and the cabinets. So one common question we get is, what is the distance between the top of the counter and the bottom of the cabinet? Typically we have this be at least 18 inches. And if you're gonna do some additional molding like a little light rail or something that goes underneath, you wanna make sure that you account for that and raise it up accordingly so that you have enough clearance. If we're doing an open shelf or something like this, I always put them a little bit higher because I have found that with certain appliances, this 18 inches isn't quite enough, especially if they open from the top, you might hit it. So I always allow a little bit more room when we're doing open shelving.
18 and a half.
Check.
24 and a quarter.
There you go. So in a space like this where you have more than just counter to counter, here we have seating, you're gonna have people that are pulling chairs out, so you wanna make sure that you account extra space for that. In this kitchen, we have 52 inches. I recommend at least 48. If you have a fridge behind where there's seating, you wanna go even more because you don't want somebody in the fridge and then somebody trying to sit down and then everybody's on top of each other. So you wanna make sure that if you have this situation where you have an island against a wall or more cabinets, that you leave plenty of space. When you have two lines of cabinets that are across from each other, the minimum you want for space is 36 inches. That's a little bit tight. I prefer 42, and if you can get it, 48 is even better, but it just depends on the house. What did we get here, Paul?
We're right in between that at 40.
40 inches, right? So a little bit more than minimum, not quite the ideal, but it still gives you plenty of space to walk through. One other place where people ask about measurements is what is the distance between the countertop and the bottom of the light fixture. As a general rule, about 30 inches is where you want it to be, but it also depends on the fixture. If you have clear glass, sometimes you go a little bit lower. The other thing you want to do is, whoever the homeowner is, like have them stand at the island, because the worst thing is when you have a solid light fixture and it's right in your eye line. Is that what you have right now, Paul?
Oh, that's why the lights go up as I'm standing here.
As you're standing there.
They need to go up or down a little bit.
Right.
Sometimes they have a bigger dome or they're shorter and you gotta play with the height a little bit. So you gotta sometimes you just gotta hold it up there and be like, this looks good.
The electricians love that when they're like, how high do you want this light fixture? And I'm like, just hold it up for me and then I can tell you.
No, usually you say, I don't know. And then we have to wait for you to physically come to the job to do it. And then we can do it. So that's
right. So usually that's how it works. But if you have no idea where to even start, 30 inches is a good starting point.
Right.
And then you go from there. Where did this one land?
This one was at,
Say.
I measured and I already forgot, 31 and 15/16.
So close.
32.
Okay.